What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back on the day before we play. But we are going to talk about the board, Elkann, Scanavino, having full trust in their decisions. And their decisions being, or especially Giuntoli's, is Elkann's decision. And Motta, a general decision, basically. We're going to talk about that because it's all transfers and all drama, so on, so on. So we kind of missed what Elkann had to say, what Scanavino had to say on Motta and Giuntoli, but it's key. It's key to understand what basically the idea is of the club, why nobody should really panic, according to them, despite how the transfer window is going and how it will end, basically, with a couple of days left. But it was very interesting what they had to say, so it's kind of not okay to ignore what they had to say, because some very interesting and slightly worrying, slightly very exciting things they had to say. But before we do that, as always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk some backing 100% what they did. Okay, so first off, all you didn't like the McKennie video. Not that I really care, because it's about opinions, if you keep it clean, I'm fine with it. If you say something, I don't know, out of the pocket, I will react, But on McKennie, like in general, this is not about negativity. This is not about being negative, because I think a lot of you who complain what I have to say don't listen to the entire video. I said I'll give Giuntoli 2 seasons, and not even to say get him out, but to see what the big picture is. I understand the financial situation of the club. I understand we cannot clear the deck completely and bring in 11 top players. Like, I'm not an idiot. However, when certain decisions have been made, I will react to it. I will say I like that. I don't like that. McKennie's contract, I do not like that one bit at all. Not even the excuse of, oh, it's to sell him next summer. The issue is selling him this summer. Now imagine him next summer when he's playing less. How many offers will he have then? So that aside, this is not about being negative. This is just being honest on your opinions. You don't need to agree with everything the club does. If they make a move I don't like, I will say I don't like it. But back to Elkann. He's dreaming, quote-unquote, big for his new Juve. This is his Juve. This is not Gianni. This is not Agnelli's Juve, because Agnelli was in full charge. He was in total control. Elkann was completely on the background. Basically, he had nothing to say. It was all Agnelli, and he did everything. He spoke a lot. He did everything. So the spotlight was on him. It was his Juve. This is Elkann's Juve, but still he's on the background. He told Giuntoli, you take care of everything, basically. You bring this club back to what it should be, at. And that's what he was basically saying. He said, I will start off with this quote because this is more relevant than the other I have on. Because everybody's like, this is a rebuild, and it is a rebuild. But again, a rebuild at Juve doesn't mean you should be not aiming for things. You should be realistic. You're not going to win the league, most likely. You're not going to win the Champions League, Like, that's fair, But the aim, the ambition is to push as far as you can and get to a point where it's like, okay, we're not really far off. And that's basically what he was saying. He said, year 0, so basically a rebuild. He said, in life, there are tough moments. Without a doubt, there are tough moments like this one, like the last couple of seasons, basically. The important thing is to take them from a positive aspect, basically. Look at those issues we have now and look at them being positive. Get the positive out of whatever this is right now and restart. He said this year 0, the rebuild, is a moment when you press that button and leave the past behind, focus only on tomorrow. We cannot really leave the past behind. The past is kind of the issues, with the players we're trying to get out, missing out on Europe, sponsorship deal, that's on him, basically, still not agreed because it's extremely low because of the past, So, yeah, you need to leave the past behind and you need to focus on tomorrow. But right now, the past is still causing problems for tomorrow. So you still need to address that. But we need to look ahead. What has been done has been done. We cannot change anything about that. You can try. That's what we're trying to do right now. But it is what it is. You cannot undo certain deals. You cannot undo certain decisions. They have been made. The future should be okay. We're not going to make the same decisions. That's why I don't like certain decisions we have been making or we're trying to make right now with a McKennie, with potentially trying to sign Kalulu. I don't like these deals, and I will say that I don't like these deals, But he went on saying that the collective that Juve has extraordinary and is extraordinary, and has great potential. He was talking about not the fans, not the players, but just the structure in general. He was talking, the new guys coming in, everything, and he will obviously say that because this is his thing. This is his Juve basically, and he wants to make it work. However, you cannot come out and say, it's still iffy. It's still not going the way it should be going or whatever. Like it's still on the fly. We're trying to fix everything, on the fly. It's not, defined. Okay, that's your task. That is what we're gonna do. He's obviously not gonna say that. He said strong athletes and teams have to have the ability to not get stuck in a negative loop that leads to making excuses and feeling like everyone is against them. That's what I've said so many times last season when it was the referee and no, it's us. It's us. We are poor. We have been poor. On the field, off the field, we have been poor. That's why when certain deals have been made, it's like, but he didn't want to join, he didn't want to join. Fine, but that doesn't mean you need to commit to certain deals or players you didn't want to commit to. That's just wrong type of business. These are the things I don't like, and I will call out. That's basically what it is. So excuse making, I don't like that. I've always said it. Unless it's glaring and it's a one moment like where, and I'm gonna exaggerate, somebody actually punches the ball on the line away and it's like that is gonna win us the game, then I'm like, yeah, that's not an excuse, that happened. But if you play absolutely rubbish for 90 minutes and there's one dodgy decision that can go your way or not your way, and you're gonna talk about it for days and weeks, and I'm like, no. If that happens one-off, fine. If that's the excuse every single time, then no. Then you need to stop and you just need to look, we're not good enough. Because it's not normal that these things happen every single day. That there's an excuse every single match day, basically. But the man of the moment is obviously Thiago Motta. He has been chosen to bring us back, basically, along Giuntoli. And he spoke about that. He obviously signed off, to the idea of, okay, Motta, you're allowed to come in. But he gave Giuntoli basically carte blanche. You can do whatever you want. Obviously, Giuntoli run that past him saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sack Allegri, or I want to sack Allegri. I want to bring in Thiago Motta, He said the important thing is to approach a new generation with Motta. Today we have a young team, and he's a young coach who was also a player and can help us build. That's obviously the idea. The idea is obviously to bring in a young coach to grow together. There will be mistakes. There will be hiccups. The team is young. Yes, and no, it's young. It's young. When people hear young, they think we have 18-year-olds playing. But no, Yildiz is young, unexperienced. Vlahovic is young. I think that's what they mean with young. They don't mean 18-year-old kids. Thuram, young. Like, it is a young squad. We don't have a 30-year-old squad. The guys pushing 30 are Danilo, who is 30. Bremer is getting closer to 30. At the top of my head, basically. And I don't know, am I missing something? So I think that's what they mean with young. And it's right. But with young, I would say unexperienced in winning stuff. Yeah, we won the Coppa Italia, but real winning, being dominant, actually being up there consistently, that is missing. And that's what Motta needs to bring in, And yes, he hasn't been up there as a coach, but still, he's been up there as a player, and that experience is probably what Elkann is talking about, that they need to grow together. And it will take some time. I 100% agree that, because that team is not finished, not even close. Even if we get our targets in for some, like, we get the 3 signings or the 4 signings, it's still not finished. Because you have players you actually do not want at the club, or stopgaps, and some of them, even if you bring them in, or some that stay, will fall through and they will be moved on next season. So that's that. But that's not all, because Cannavino, who doesn't speak much, which is maybe a good thing or a bad thing, spoke as well, and he talked about Motta, and he obviously was part of the decision to sign off to bring in Motta. I would hope so. If you're in that position at the club, then you have some say. But he said he's extremely dedicated, determined, highly attentive to details, and certainly very ambitious. He also has a strong personality, and communicates with the players in a very straightforward and direct manner. It's clear that he gets straight to the point, which is greatly appreciated, as I've noticed that everyone follows the work pace with a positive attitude. He is a high demanding coach. If you read in stuff, he keeps things simple in terms of like, this is what I ask you to do, period. But he's highly demanding. He will hammer that in. He will call you out if it's not okay. And I'm fine, because we had Antonio Conte as the coach, and yeah, it was well detailed. And if you didn't do what Conte want, everybody knew. Like, literally everybody knew. He will let you know, no matter who you are, and you can ask players like Pirlo and Pirlo, Vidal, they all said the same thing. No matter who you are or how you play, Conte will let you know. And that's the type of coach Motta is as well. He will let you know, no matter who you are. What he also did at Bologna was like, okay, you are the main guy, but the other guy is playing well in training, so he's going to start. I wouldn't be shocked if certain players get in and out of the team just purely because they're not showing up in training rather than in the game. And it's like, okay, that guy showed up, so he's going to play. He is that type of coach, we haven't had him at like 2 months at the club, not even. So you need to go off Bologna stuff and all the things that came out back then was, okay, he is very strict with the team, but the players like that because it's clear, they believe in him, they back him, they follow him. That last season was kind of an issue. We knew that. Maybe they liked Allegri, but nobody was not everybody was really following it. You have players, yes, backing him 100%, and players being in between that, and that's when you got a mix of, well, a messy cocktail. That needs to change. They all need to back Motta. They all need to believe in what Motta does, and I think they will do that, because of the fact that this is a clean slate for a lot of these players, and they actually have no choice right now. On the future, that was very interesting. On the future, let me read it out first, because there was a lot of uproar when he said these things. He said that we didn't sell Bremer. In fact, we renewed his contract, and we have very attractive offers financially. But selling him, even if if it would make the club a hell of a lot of money, apparently, would have weakened us. So we said no. We take competitiveness seriously. It's not just a word to be thrown around. Of course, we also want to be able to develop them ourselves, focusing on young players or talented players who haven't reached their full potential yet. Sustainability should never exclude competitiveness. Juve still has significant resources, so in terms of the overall investments in the first team, it's not out of the question that top player could arrive one day. I'd say it's very likely, and he was talking about Ronaldo and so on. But this was very interesting, because the moment that came out, people was like, oh, we sold Sule, we sold Barnechea, because he said, you know what, we want to develop these players as well. Yes, I see your angle, but right now, in this moment in time, we are going to sell these youngsters for money. That's the situation of the club. I know a lot of people do not like it, and it's like, oh, we sold Sule for 25, but you're going to sign Conceição for 25. What is the deal? Like, the finance, I don't like to talk about finances because I don't want to do that as a fan, but that's not the same. It's not 25. It's not the same. That 25 from Sule heavily outweighs 25 for Conceição, for example. That is a situation. If we were 2016 and we had these youngsters coming through, maybe we were still buying players, but we wouldn't be forced to sell these players. Maybe they wouldn't be in the first team, obviously, But I think they learned that, okay, we can bring these players in. But right now, sadly enough, we sell. We sell these youngsters. That's a sad reality of the club. Even Sule came out and said, I understood that the club needed to cash in on me because they needed that money. We needed to clean up our books. That books have been left in a shambolic state by Agnelli, and now we are here sitting and we need to be frustrated by the fact that we are giving away Sule and Huijsen and Barnechea, and maybe that's not all. That is very frustrating, but that's our situation. Now that they said no to Bremer, I believe it would 100% have weakened us. Like, we missed out on our main targets. Now imagine you need to get 2 main targets at the back. That would be absolutely insane, and I don't want to even think about that. Like, I'm already fearful what will happen with our backline if Bremer is injured. I don't want to think about that or misses top games. But in general, it's okay to keep him. I still think if an offer comes in, he will accept the Premier League, and I have no issue with that. Players have a dream. I don't have dreams. I don't expect any player to want to play for Juve for the rest of their career. I don't. Like, it's 24. Like, this is it. This is it. I expect players to have a certain type of dream, and not all of them dream to play for Juve. And if you're not dominant at winning, then it's definitely not going to help. So, fine. I get it, and I agree. Good that you did that, in my opinion, because it's clear that we struggle to bring in center backs. But next season, obviously, if that money's on the table and he's like, I'm out, then he's out, Last part, the big one, and that's Giuntoli. The man of the hour, the man that is getting slated, maybe by me, you might say. I still, like, the start of the window started off with a clear plan, and I like that. But that plan completely derailed. If he brings in Koopmeiners, I like Koopmeiners. I'm okay with that. It's just, it's very late. You're sending Motta into a season handicapped, tied. His hands tied to the back of his back, Yeah, that's right. That is my issue. I don't like certain moves. That is my issue. I like a lot of moves he did, and I'm okay with that. I like Douglas Luiz. I like Thuram. De Gregorio stinking hat, fine. I like certain things. I like that he said, you guys are not part of the team. Figure it out. But then when he comes back and it's like, McKennie, okay, the offer's still on the table, then yeah, if you miss out on 2 center back targets and then you are haggling around for Kalulu, I will call that out. Because I personally don't like these moves. However, he said, in addition to being an excellent talent scout, Giuntoli has a remarkable ability to navigate difficult and complex negotiations, balancing our needs, other demands, the players' wishes, and the involvement of agents. In addition to being an excellent talent scout, Giuntoli has... Oh, that's the same thing. My bad. Not sure how that happened, but yeah. When I read that out, I can say I agree, and people say that's a lie, because I've watched your latest video, you don't agree. I agree. I like certain things. That's why we brought him in. And I understand that certain decisions are purely based on past decisions he cannot control. So I 100% agree. But certain things do worry me. Certain fees we pay for players that I think are not going to be, or not even next season, worry me. Certain contracts, Rugani, for example, then you move him out, worry me. These things do worry me. That doesn't mean I don't trust him. That doesn't mean I won't give him time. But certain things I don't like. Maybe next season it will make all sense. Maybe next summer it will make a lot of sense what we're doing right now. But right now it's like, oh, that makes sense. And then it's like, that actually doesn't make sense, And then it goes back to a target where I'm like, okay, I get why you're going for that player. And then we turn around and do that. And I'm like, I'm not sure what that was about. So that's why I said I need 2 full summers. Summer 25 or 1st of September 25. I will come on and will say, yeah, I think this is going into the right direction. Because, okay, now I can see what you're trying to do. But right now, it's, yeah, I can see it. And no, I cannot really see it, So that's why I don't like certain things. But the club made their decision, and Giuntoli made the decision with Motta. You guys need to make it work. That's it, basically. But Elkann believes, Giuntoli believes, Motta believes. Obviously, he said it many times. Cannavino believe, the players apparent believe, part of the fan base believe. I'm in between right now. Some do absolutely not believe. And again, only time will tell. But let me know in the comments. Do you believe that this is the right direction? Why yes or why no? And that's it. And I will speak to you guys later tonight for the first match preview against Como. Despite everything, excited about the season. Actually, finally it's kicking off. Worried because we only have a very thin squad, extremely thin. But we're assuming that will get fixed in the next couple of days. But yeah, I'll see you soon. Ciao.